Oh, hello, 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 hello. One more. Hello. Mwah. Hello to you, my beautiful people out there in YouTube land. How are you on this beautiful, blessed Monday afternoon? Huh? How are you doing? Yes, indeed. It is Monday, July 13th, 2020, and you are watching Omega Live with JJ, Woman Without Borders. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for tuning in. I do not take it for granted, as you know, because you could have been otherwise, but you have chosen to spend this hour with me, and I really appreciate you. If it is your first time, mwah, a very special welcome to you. The drill is for you to subscribe to the channel. You go to subscribe to the channel. Excuse me. Mm. Sorry, guys. Allergies are killing me. Yeah, so the drill is for you to subscribe to the channel, guys, because remember, if the feed falls, I cannot send you another link. So the beauty of it is that when you subscribe, then you'll be notified by YouTube that I am live, so you can come onto the program, right? Guys, I'm having technical issues, so the feed does fall. Yesterday, I was having a wonderful program and the feed fell. I have not done the playlist as yet, unfortunately, because it was I was still having some issues with the YouTube in terms of the buffering of the feed, right? So I could not get to put the playlist together. I promise it will be done, and it will be on in my library, that you can come online and you can see the program in its entirety via the playlist, right? You can click on the playlist and you will see it there. Okay. I'm praying that this will not happen today. I'll have a seamless transmission today, seamless streaming. But if it is that it does fall, guys, when you subscribe, when I get back on, you'll be notified. Thank you so very much again, like I said, for tuning in. Today is the 13th of July. It's a special day. Mwah! Happy birthday. It's a birthday. A lot of persons are celebrating today, but there are two special people who are celebrating today, birthday today, that I know of. I'm sure there are many others who I don't know of, right? But two that I do know are celebrating their birthday today. One is my one of my very best friends for years, when I was a teenager. She lives in Birmingham, England. She's celebrating her birthday today. Mwah! Happy birthday, TC. Yes, we're coming from far. Yes, and the other one is Teresa. Teresa, my best friend in New York. His sister. uh, Sorry, the sister. Yeah, who's celebrating her birthday today? No, it's his mom. It's mom. It's mom. Yes, his mom. She's celebrating her birthday today. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Mwah. Happy birthday to you, Teresa. Yes, and Thelma. Mwah. Happy birthday to you guys. I hope you enjoy your special day today. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Yes, your special day. It is a special day. It's a beautiful day that the Lord has made. Okay, and I know you are all rejoicing in it. Absolutely. All right, guys. Um, you know how, you know the drill. I read the news to you and then I give you my 2 cents on it. Basically, you know, my commentary. That's why you're here, right? To hear my commentary, what's happening. And a lot has been happening, guys. So much has been happening. I Yesterday I gave you some news of online, basically because I did not have yesterday's paper, the Sunday paper. I didn't get a chance to get it. But the headlines were so interesting that I had to get a physical paper, because on the online version, you have to actually you have to pay, you have to pay a subscription to get some details with regard to some of the stories. You don't get all the stories; they give you a few stories, but most of the stories you have to, in order to, you get the first paragraph or a couple paragraphs. Then in order for you to read the full article, you got to pay for it. And I'm like, okay. So what I do, usually on a Sunday, I purchase the Sunday paper, and that way I get all the information. I can go through it. But I've been so busy, guys. People have been calling me left, right, and center. All kind of problems, and as I guess I'm known to be a problem solver. Yeah, so I'm always solving problems, and so I've been quite busy. I haven't gotten a chance to go through all the stories, but I have been going through some, right? And I'm going to share them with you today. Okay. Also, there was a story that I gave you yesterday, but in because of time constraint, the program finished. I wasn't able to give you that story, so I'm going to start today with that story in terms of going into details of the commentary. However, before I do that, we're in COVID-19. We are still in a pandemic, and so I have to give you COVID-19 information first. Only it's an emergency, and there's no emergency here. So the COVID comes first because we're in a pandemic. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. So there goes. With no new confirmed case of the coronavirus disease, COVID 19, and with 5 persons recovering over the past 24 hours, Jamaica's recovery rate has inched up to almost 82%, according to the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The total number of persons who have recovered and have been released from the hospital now stands at 620. There are currently 108 active cases, while 20 persons, and listen to this, guys, 14,800 persons are in home quarantine. That means, guys, there are 14,800 persons who are geofenced and or are wearing bracelets. So just the way the government wants it, yeah? Mm-hmm. Yes, and today, guys, today, all the other numbers, of course, are stay the same, so I don't have to go to much details. My big data people, those numbers have not changed, obviously, right? So we still have 236 persons in the workplace cluster, Alarico, right? We still have our 39 persons in our local transmission cases. We still have our 7 under investigation, right? And of course, because the numbers have not increased, it is still 708 cases that there are persons who could have it and we don't know because there's no testing being done, right? You understand how that works. I gave that news already, right? So there are only testing persons with symptoms in locally and persons without symptoms coming in and not getting tested. So basically, they're only testing people with symptoms, period. So if you're not showing any symptom, guy, you're not getting tested. That's the point. Yeah? The Ministry of Health said they do not have the infrastructure, the supplies, and all that to do testing. So they can't be testing, right? And just so you know, the reason other countries are showing big numbers because they are testing. If you don't test, or you don't, or you know, yeah. So a testing has to be done. Results come back. You know, there's a positive case. So clearly, lots of testing are going on. Well, here there are no testing going on because if you're not showing symptoms, you're not being tested. Okay, so you could be asymptomatic, and we know many persons are asymptomatic. And if you're asymptomatic, they're not testing you, so therefore you could have the disease and nobody knows. That's the point. And so you could be passing it on and don't know either, even though they claim that this spread, it's a low spread, right? Persons who are asymptomatic, according to them, are really passing. Not many of them are passing it on. So I admonish you that if you're going out in public anyway, to continue to wear your masks, okay, to protect the portal of entry and the portal of exit. All right, so this story that I was to give from yesterday, I'm going to lead into that one before I continue. So the headline, Minister. So there are conflicting accounts about how a company with a director and shareholder who is a partner of a cabinet minister was selected in 2019 to operate more than 1,400 acres yesterday. The entity, which is Holland Producers Limited, has reportedly sublet the lands at the Holland estate to dozens of small farmers who in turn have been receiving support from various state agencies. Joseph Shakir, managing director of the Sugar Company of Jamaica, SCJ Holdings, told the Sunday Gleaner that its entity received a recommendation from the Ministry of Investment, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, MICAF, to give possession of the land in July last year to Holland Producers. SCJ is a state company that manages the sugar lands. Quote, MICAF directed the SCJ's attention to a company called Holland Producers, Shakir said, adding that, quote, the arrangement was that when the lands were returned to SCJ, we would make them available to MICAF. MICAF then nominated Holland Producers, and hence the arrangement for a 1-year due diligence period. Quote, I acted on the advice of MICAF. When pressed on who made the recommendation, he said, I would rather not say. However, that response may raise further questions about the origins of the advice and the due diligence in the selection of the company, given the contradictory account by J.C. Hutchinson, a full minister in MICAF. And as you know, J.C. Hutchinson is the minister without portfolio in that ministry. Yeah. So the minister said it was Holland Produced St. Elizabeth constituency in which he represents in Parliament for the ruling Jamaica Labour Party, the JLP. It's a registered company that applied to FCJ Holdings. They weren't recommended by anybody, Hutchinson said, confirming that Lola Marshall Williams, a director and shareholder of Holland Producers, is his living partner and mother of one of his children. Basically, them live together. They're not married, but they live together. That's what that means, yeah? Okay. Marshall Williams, a well-known businesswoman in the Breadbasket Parish, is also the JLP liaison officer to the electoral office of Jamaica for Hutchinson's constituency and a board member of RADA. You see how this nepotism and cronyism work, guys? You see all of these things? Okay, so it's baby mother. It's baby mother we live with, right? She also was a constituent, right? She is a board member of RADA, which is the Rural Agriculture Development Authority, right? Which is an agency of MICAF, right? Okay. She is also a liaison officer at the electoral office. Listen to this, guys, carefully. She's also a liaison officer at the electoral office, okay? The electoral office, where we do elections, okay? Right. Though direct inquiries to FCJ, Hutchinson said he was not aware of other applications to lease Holland Estate lands, which were formally returned to FCJ in 2019 by Jerry and Neville. Hutchinson disclosed that a number of private interests made overtures for the lands, but the decision was made to give preference to small farmers, the state-owned Jamaica Information Service, JIS, reported in February. Holland Producers were incorporated in May 2019 with 3 directors and 2 shareholders, according to the company's office records, right? Almost 2 months later, it was given possession of the land. So then, or register it, right, in February, and then in April, they got the contract. You see how this works, guys? Are you paying attention? All right. Hutchinson, meanwhile, is dismissing any question of conflict of interest because these people, their moral compass is so low. Guys, are you seeing the representatives, the people who are representing us in Parliament? Their moral compass is so low. They do things and they don't see anything. I see it. And I'm like, are you in a position to point any fingers? Look how many different things have happened with your name attached to it. And because you haven't even gotten a slap on the wrist, and here it is now. Mr. Hutchinson said he doesn't see anything wrong with what he's doing. He doesn't see any conflict of interest. I don't see any conflict of interest, he said. A company applies for leasing a property. It has nothing to do with me. Really? Whether she sits on the board or whatever, or other active problem, guys, the woman we live with, is baby mother. Is child's mother, is living partner. He doesn't see anything wrong with her getting the land. It's no conflict of interest. Guys, are you seeing? Are you paying attention? Marshall Williams, that's the baby mother we're talking about here, has backed up Hutchinson when she also told the Sunday Cleaner that the company submitted its application to FCJ. Of course, you can back up your baby father. Your man, the man where you live with. Business proposal, man and woman. And in Jamaica, it's legal, right? Because common law marriages are recognized in Jamaica. So whether you have, whether you went up before a pastor or a priest or whoever and said, I do, whether it does not matter in Jamaica, you have legal rights. Baby father went to an interview with Shakir with a business proposal. We pointed out that we had the requisite skills set to manage the property to ensure that it was given to small farmers rather than to big investors and low-scale farmers because of the concern that the property would fall into the hands of a few big investors, squeezing out small farmers in the area. The Sunday Gleaner has submitted questions to Derriman Spence, that is the permanent secretary in the ministry, right? Requesting details on the selection process. We want to know how you select people, yeah? Jerry and Neville's subsidiary Appleton operated the lands up to 2019, in the middle of 2019, when it gave them back when it gave them back because of faltering sugar prices, cattle problems, and the long-standing water log concern, which reduced the availability of arable parcels for cultivation. Almost 150 reportedly displaced as a result. Government policy since then has been to establish the Holland Estate as an agroeconomic zone to comprise farms on the 2,400-acre property, as well as packaging and processing facilities. And I will stop there. Guys, oh, what tangled web we weave when first we started to deceive. Yes, are you guys paying attention? All right, so continuing with the news, I gotta give you more information. So let me continue with the news. So today, guess what today is also, guys? 13th of July. Indeed. Our high school students, they start their exams today. Yay. Okay. So they've been preparing, right? And so they should be ready. Yeah. So today is the start of the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate and the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination. Today their final examination, which will continue until August 14th. That is for CAPE, and until August 21st, August 21st for CSEC. Yeah. Meanwhile, according to the Overseas Examinations Office, that is the OEC, they say they are ready for exams, having put in place several measures to administer the examination. And so I will basically give you that little short piece of story from the OEC with regard to their preparation for the CSEC examinations and the CAPE examination. So they say, what? Sorry. This phone, my God. Lord, help me. I need a phone. Anyway, guys, yeah, continuing. So, the Overseas Examination Commission, OEC, said it is ready for this month sitting of the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate CSEC exams, having put in place several measures to administer the exam, which started today, July 13, 2020. It says examiners have been trained and deployed for French and Spanish orals, which has already begun. The orals already began, right, and will end on Friday, the 14th of August, while supervisors for exams that begins today have also been trained and deployed. Quality assurers who will monitor centers have also been trained and deployed, along with readers and writers for candidates for whom arrangements have been made for special assessment, as well as moderators for CSEC and the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, CAPE, Sciences and Industrial Technology, CSEC Music, CAPE Performing Arts, and Physical Education and Sport. The OEC says paper-based, online, and offline examination options are available to all candidates. It says schools have selected the option that would work best for them based on their internet connectivity and reliability. It says the upload of school-based assessment, SBA samples, and the submission of scores should have been completed on Friday last. That Friday just passed on the 10th of the overseas examinations. And as I mentioned, the format of the exam has basically been modified due to COVID grade. Yeah. Choose paper. Good luck. Yeah. Studied. Bring it God back to your memory. If you studied, come if it wasn't put there. You studied, will come back while you're doing the exams. Okay. All right, my lovely. You do well. Fine. News for you. Not the Sunday cleaning. The Monday and tomorrow, give it at 1 and into 1 and yeah. Yeah, that's one about from Capri. I told it in a second. Yeah. As to what has become of the plan and Okay. So to give you a little bit more, before I give you my 2 cents on it, I must give you a little bit more on that story. So I'm going to quote you what a respected security expert has to say on the subject matter, right? So this security expert told the Gleaner that he believes that the Chinese assessment that the city needs at least 100 high-quality cameras to be properly covered is an accurate estimation. According to him, the cameras that the Chinese are touting are equipped with the latest facial recognition software. Quote, these cameras are highly sensitive. You could call them a law enforcement's dream and a criminal's nightmare, the expert said. Quote, if we have Montego Bay properly blanketed with these cameras, criminals will have a hard time escaping apprehension because once an image is recorded, whenever the person is spotted again by the camera, an alert will be sent out, which should result in the person being captured by the police. Okay, now the other story on the front page ties into it somewhat. So let me go to that one, which says 10 years. Yeah, it's been 10 years. 10 years before those were success evident. That's what Marshy is saying. So let me tell you what he says. It will take at least a decade for Jamaica to zones of special operations Zozo. That's according to Mark Shields. So if you haven't figured it out by now, yes, he is a security expert. That's why I'm giving you that story, yeah? He said the overall plan to teach basic school skills from Peter Bunting, didn't we? Yeah. This cannot be a one-year, irreversible social and economic change. Take security measures to work, both the government and opposition problem. Quote, perseverance on managing and improving like COVID-19 and needs to be tackled partners with a common goal. He understands what needs to be done to achieve transformation of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF. Don't make it politics. Don't make it about politics of the police force through the to support them, pointing out that many in the fight against crime and violence, particularly murders. At the same time, Shields is a challenging critic that while not the critic